Okay, well, good evening, everybody. It is 8:45 here on Friday night. We'll see what I can get into tonight. I'm headed to Starbucks, ready to start my night shift. Starbucks, got my Starbucks, sitting here in the queue. Okay, that was fast. So this is a 30-minute trip. This is Victoria. I'm gonna bet $100 that this is Marina. We'll see. Okay, well, I was completely wrong about that one. I am not anywhere near the marina. I am down here at Stanford University. I gave this beautiful girl a ride who is studying down here. She's studying symbolic systems. And I don't even know what the hell that is. We'll see where we go from here. Where the hell am I? And what the hell is going on here? Okay, that is pretty interesting there. It was a 49ers, San Francisco 49ers charity event for this school that they have that kind of supports underprivileged kids. It puts them through school. Her friend's daughter just bought the property there. Her husband, they're now divorced, was a tech mogul, and her son caught the husband, caught her dad in the Ferrari with the secretary. So that was the end. And that's how that ended. So this is drama down here. Steve Young was actually speaking at this event, so that was pretty cool. He went to the same high school as me. This is what's happening down here. Okay, well, I'm back in the queue, and I just got a ride, an 80-minute ride. I have no idea where this is gonna be. This could be Sacramento, this could be Napa, this could be Stockton, Tracy, could be Santa Cruz. So, I don't know, I'll let you guys know. Okay, so, I am on my way up to Santa Rosa, and I am with William.
William, yes.
And yeah, so I got a ride from the airport up to Santa Rosa. So we're on our way. And William, you have not been here in a very long time.
No, I have not.
Yeah.
I came back in 2001 when I initially came here, and I was running in college. I was running at LSU, a 1,500-meter runner, and I went to run a race at Stanford in Palo Alto.
Nice.
So that was the last time I was here. Went down and saw the seals or sea lions. What are they?
Right, they are sea lions.
And what is that pier? The famous pier?
Yep, Pier 39.
Yeah, Pier 39.
Yep.
So I remember as a college kid going down to Pier 39.
Yep, Fisherman's Wharf. These kinds of things.
Sourdough bread.
Yep.
The whole
Boudin is there.
Yep.
It's famous.
So
yeah.
That's what I recall.
Yeah, beautiful. And what brings you up to Santa Rosa?
Yeah, so Santa Rosa tonight is about, I look at the map, I think 85% of the way to Hillsburg.
Hillsburg?
Yeah, I think that would be the correct pronunciation.
Okay.
Kind of the Sonoma area for the wine country. We're here for an aviation meeting. The Sonoma Jet Center is hosting. And I have an aviation business in the Virgin Islands, and I belong to a 20 group. 20 group is basically other 20 companies just like mine and Sonoma Jet Centers scattered around North America and Canada, from Fort Lauderdale to Toronto to Little Rock, Arkansas to Abilene, Texas, to Bakersfield to Seattle, so all over Wisconsin. So we choose a different location every quarter, and Sonoma Jet Center's new to the group, so they decided that they would host. And so I'm going to Santa Rosa because I didn't want to get all the way up into Sonoma tonight, and I wanted to just try a different hotel. I think it's the Sandman is the name of it. So
yeah,
that's what I'm gonna.
That's where we're headed right now.
That's
I think.
where we're headed. That's
right
correct.
now.
Yes.
Okay. So you live in the Virgin Islands?
Yes.
Oh.
Born and raised in St. Croix.
Oh wow.
St. Croix is one of actually 4 Virgin Islands. People only know the 3, usually St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John, but then there's Water Island, or Hassel Island. So I live on St. Croix, born and raised, and so I'm a Crucian. That's what you would call somebody from St. Croix.
Crucian.
Crucian.
Okay.
And then we have a dialect, kind of like a Jamaican, say, born and bred in the Virgin Islands, you check. So I can turn it on and off when I like. It's different.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So you guys, the Crucians have their own dialect.
Yeah, it's a kind of a Jamaican dialect, or
Yeah.
you know, island slang, so to speak. If you're
Yeah.
from St. Kitts or Nevis or any of those places, it kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah, I was in Jamaica
Okay.
many years ago, and they have some slang there. I feel like it's
Yeah.
I feel like it's along
Yeah,
those
so
lines.
they
It's
would-
kind of English. You can mostly make sense of it.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
so they would say, like, if you're saying in Jamaica, what are you talking about? They say, well, you chat boat, you know, so they talk
Yeah.
like that.
Exactly.
It's just different.
Okay.
Wagwan, that type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, what's going on?
Yep,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So you're a pilot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up kind of a unique little story on how a Caucasian guy like me ended up born in the Virgin Islands. It's not normal because it's an island, you know. A lot of islanders are from there, a lot of African Americans, but I was born there because my grandfather had a small community airport in Spring Valley, New York, and he wanted to get away from the cold, and I think he was on wife number 3 and said, I'm going to take a twin-engine piston plane and go to the islands and start anew. So he headed down to St. Croix, and that was in the late 50s. My mother actually, my mother's side was there before the aviation side. They were fishermen out of the Florida Keys.
Okay.
Lobster fishermen, and the fishing was really good in the Caribbean back then. It was kind of, you know, untouched ground. So
Yeah.
my mom, who's 73 now, has been there since she was 11, and then so my parents were set up on a blind date. Grandpa started flying the fish off the island to Puerto Rico for the other family, and my parents were traditionally born back then at the ripe age of 19 and 20. So then that's how I ended up there, and then my dad followed in my grandfather's footsteps of aviation. You know, learned to fly solo, you know, at the age of 16, and then the business, family business, Bohlke International Airways, ebbed and flowed, from commuter airline to fuel servicing, and weathered many hurricanes over the years, and then recently my dad, I bought them out, so now we're in the 3rd generation. I have a daughter and a son, so maybe they will continue it too, so we'll see.
Wow.
That's how we ended up in the Virgin Islands, and continue to grow the company. We do a lot of cool different things, from medical, air evac, on a literally everyday basis to Puerto Rico and Florida, aircraft management, fuel services, aircraft maintenance. We have a company that does kind of the same thing in Puerto Rico as well. So, but yeah, it's a cool place to live. Very nice.
Yeah. And you were born there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was born there. My sister was born there, and then my dad, because the business was, you know, kind of more of a hobby, or in the earlier days, wasn't making enough money, so he went to American Airlines, and he flew there for 37 years and retired number 2 company-wide, which is quite an achievement when you've got 12,000 pilots.
Yeah.
But he was based in New York and Dallas, Miami, but he worked his way up on, you know, old jets that we don't see anymore, 727s, DC-10s. I have a sister who's a horse trader who never left Texas, who's 8 years older, and wants nothing to do with aviation, so kind of random. But I stuck with it. I enjoy it, and I got got sent away after being born there and bounced around a little bit with my parents to different places where he was based. They always kept the business. One of the cool things was I ended up, it wasn't cool at the time, but I ended up at an all-boys school in South Texas called the Marine Military Academy. It's one of the only all-male military boarding schools left in the country. And that got me into running. And I spent 5 years there. And then I walked on at LSU. The only reason I went to LSU is because a guy came back and said, hey man, there's lots of pretty trees and girls there. And so I said, well, I'll apply there, why not? So I applied there in Florida State, a couple other places, and then I really excelled and became their top miler for about 3 years. And then ran for the Virgin Islands, and then after I got out of college, Dad's like, what are you going to do with your finance degree, your international trade and finance degree? And I said, I don't know. I'll come help run the business. He says, well, you need experience. So then I joined the Puerto Rico Air National Guard, and I flew, still to this day, 17 years later, fly C-130s there. And my dad was enlisted there. He never flew in the military, so that's kind of it.
So when did you start flying?
So yeah, I started flying, my dad got a plane, it's called an air coupe, when I was 10, to teach me how to fly.
Yeah.
And air coupes, it's a 1946 air coupe, we still have it today. When they were built, they were like the VW Bug of America, that was the vision. And you actually, when you're on the ground, you drive it like a car. So most airplanes, you steer with your rudder pedals. This plane, you actually steer the yoke, and it's a little two-seater. And so I started to learn when I was 10, and then soloed at 17, and got my license. So I'm 40 now. So yeah, it's all I really know how to do. My wife says I'm useless because all I can do is fly. I can't change the oil on my lawnmower, so I just run and fly. And my son asked me, what are you running from? You remind me, he says, you're like Forrest Gump. So, but that's what it is. Yeah, that's what I...
All right, right on. Okay. So do you guys own planes then?
Yeah.
As part of your operation?
Yep. We own some outright, own some 50% of the way, lease some, and then manage some.
Yeah.
So it's in aviation, anybody that is in aviation, even people that own airplanes would say they wish they didn't own them and they could just utilize them.
Well, exactly.
It's kind of like a boat, right? Or a car, even if you didn't have to pay for the maintenance. So we own, and are involved with 15 different airplanes, from all the way up to Falcon 900s, which are, can make Europe nonstop, down to small Beechcraft Barons, twin-engine piston planes. The air coupe we still have. We also have a Piper Cub, Beechcraft Duchess. We have a Baron, King Air, Mitsubishi MU2, which was ironically, I'm one of the few remaining 135 pilots left in America that still flies that. When I say 135, it's just a regulation for charter, single pilot. Back in primarily the 80s, it was given the name the Widowmaker. There's a lot of inexperienced pilots that could afford them. I don't want to say doctors and lawyers, but not professional pilots.
Yep.
I love doctors and lawyers. There's a lot of good doctors and lawyer pilots out there, but that's really what was the tragedy. Is some of them were getting
They were more hobbyists.
Yeah. But it's a really high performance airplane.
Okay.
And so we have two of them. We have a Marquis and a Solitaire, short body and a long body. And
are these jets?
Yeah, they're jet props. So
jet props.
Yeah, it's kind of like the King Air.
Yep.
It's about 40 knots faster than a King Air.
Yep.
King Air is a Cadillac, and the MU2 is like a crotch rocket. So it's loud and fast. And then on the medevac side, we have 3 citations, Cessna citations, 2 straight 2s, 1 Bravo, and those pretty much going nonstop to the States doing medevac. The King Air 200 does corporate, sells a convertible for medevac. We have a G100, which is also known as an Astra. That was an Israeli aircraft made the Galaxy jet, and then Gulfstream Aerospace bought it out. But we operate that. 2 Falcon 900s, an EX and a DX, which we manage. And then with our Puerto Rico company, we have a Cessna Caravan, which is a single-engine turboprop, which sometimes you see, especially up here on the West Coast on floats. We have one of those on a Citation 7. So kind of a wide range of planes.
Okay, that sounds like a lot of planes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what would be your favorite plane to fly?
You know, I'm biased to the MU2s because you have to think when you get in them. There's steam gauges, so to speak, and some automation with GPS.
Yeah.
But it's just so high performance and can land so short. We land on grass strips down on like the island of Barbuda, Cocoa Point before the hurricane. It's a really cool place to go into.
Yeah.
Really enjoy it. But then the Falcon 900 is like it's just super nice with all the avionics and all the niceties.
And this one could go across the pond.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long range.
Yep. You can do. We had a trip not too long ago. We came out this way. The owner gave us 24 hours notice and said, "Hey, I want to go from St. Thomas to Hawaii." And so that's a long way.
Yeah.
So pilots flew from St. Thomas to Brownfield down in San Diego and stopped for gas, and then went to San Diego to Hawaii, spent the week, and they said, okay, we've had enough, we want to go back to Chicago, and he likes to fly into Gary, Indiana, because the fuel is cheaper. So the guys actually made it from Hawaii nonstop to Gary, so talk about a transition.
Yeah.
They made,
Yeah.
They took off out of Hawaii and landed in I think a snowstorm in Gary. Rather different. So yeah, there's always something new. There's never a dull moment. Today my flight was supposed to to hop on one of our medical planes to San Juan. That got delayed, and then I said to my dad, I need a ride, so he fired up one of the MU2s and ran me to Puerto Rico, and then I think I had 38 minutes to drive from an office to get to the terminal to get through TSA and make my flight, and I made it by just a couple minutes. But it's just kind of like par for the course. It always seems like it's just a mad dash. And then when I got to San Francisco, after going San Juan to Chicago to San Francisco, I was like, well, I don't know where I'm going to go or where I'm going to sleep. So let me look at the map, and I looked and found Santa Rosa, and now I'm at UAN, and here we are.
Beautiful. And this is where we're headed. Yeah, up to Santa Rosa.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, I don't know if you're going to have any time when you're up in Santa Rosa, but you should maybe make the time to... There is a brewery up there. Have you ever heard of these beers? And these are the like the craft beers, like the original, I think, craft beers.
Okay.
And it's called Pliny the Elder and Pliny the Younger are these two beers that you can get. And their brewery is actually up in Santa Rosa. So
cool.
If you get a chance, I don't know if you drink at all.
Yeah, I do.
But
I like a beer now.
Yeah. This is sort of the legendary brewery up in Santa Rosa. Yeah, Pliny the Elder, Pliny the Younger. So I haven't actually had one of those beers yet. So
I'll have to try one.
Yeah,
I have
try one for me.
Ignorance is bliss on my part. So does Sierra Nevada beer have anything to do with this area?
It absolutely does.
Okay.
And I think, I'm not an expert on this. I've had beer experts in my car before.
Okay.
But I think they might be up in Santa Rosa also. Actually. Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of beer around here.
Yeah.
But this Pliny the Elder, Pliny the Younger is like one of the original, craft breweries that existed.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. And one of the beers, and I think it's Pliny the Elder, you can more readily is more readily available, like you can get it. But Pliny the Younger is like almost impossible to get. They make kind of small batches of it, and you have to be there at the right time to get it. So
Cool.
yeah, one of those things. Yeah.
Check that out. I think it's really cool that, that if you can think back, 15 years ago, there really, maybe I just wasn't in tune with it, but there wasn't this, the craft beer was really just kind of coming into, they had the homebrew kits and stuff, and then it really exploded. There's a lot of really unique breweries out there now.
Well, I mean, every town now, or even district, has their own, local brewery that people go, and then you have beers.
Yeah, as well.
No, exactly. This is where it's going, right?
Yeah.
But Budweiser's still around. But,
yes.
Yeah.
It's changing for sure.
Okay, William. Well, thanks very much for doing that for the channel, man. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Maybe I can ask you one more question.
Sure.
And maybe you can answer this, maybe you can't.
You got it.
But have you ever flown anybody famous?
Yeah, I've flown lots of famous people. I think some people are, the way I like to put it, and I'll let you know. I'll give you a couple names because they wouldn't mind that I said their names because they're so famous.
Yeah.
But two memorable folks that we've flown. The number one guy that would always request the father and son team, and this is, my dad's 73 now. This is before, so he was legally internationally you have to be below the age of 65. So we'll call it 10 years ago.
Okay.
2 years in a row, Sir Paul McCartney from the Beatles requested my dad and I to fly he and his family, and I think it was just the coolest experience to fly him down in the islands, and really cool story. And if Sir Paul was here, he'd say, "Yeah, go ahead and tell that story." And I'm not divulging any behind the scenes stuff with him, but
yeah.
But anyway, one of the neat things that I'll never forget. So Paul McCartney's in the back of the plane, and we're flying down island to take him to his vacation destination.
Do you remember the plane?
Yeah, it was in the Citation. Yeah, jet. Yeah. And my dad and I are flying, and he asked me, "Do you have a map?" And I was like, "Sure." And so I pull out a map. I go in the back and make sure everybody's okay. It's happy. And here's a map. So I looked at the map for a while, and then we landed. I think it was either that year or the following year. But the thing I will never forget, there was this moment we landed on the small island. I was just like, have a nice day. He looks at me and he says, "Seriously, did you think I was going to give you a tip?" And I said, all of a sudden my stomach sank. And I was like, no, not at all. And then he pulls his glasses down and he looks at me and says, "Oh man, I was just kidding." And he gives me $100, $250s. And he says, "Go buy your dad a beer." That was the neatest moment as I'm sitting there one-on-one with McCartney. Nobody else was around. We were just shooting the shit.
Yeah.
And to this day, I kept the 250s, and when you fly internationally, I have a thing called a general declaration, and I kind of paper clipped it to it and put it on the rock, so I can always remember that trip with my dad, with McCartney. And then the next year when we flew him again, it was like, it was like Groundhog Day, same thing. He's like, "You have a map?" So really neat. To fly a guy like that, and I've flown the drummer for Queen, flown Mick Jagger before.
Oh wow!
Yeah, just a lot of faces that you see, and it's like, man, is this person really on the plane? And they're human just like us. So
for sure they are. Yeah, you learn this. Yeah,
yeah, a lot of sports figures, different people. But as far as people that shaped rock and roll, I like to always remember McCartney and Jagger. One of the really cool things with Jagger is my dad is famous for giving out like our promotional stuff from our company, hats, pins, highlighters, and all this stuff.
Yep.
So we landed at a destination, and we brought in a guest for Jagger, actually. Mr. Jagger met his guest at the airport, but he'd known my father for years. And so my dad, I'm in this little terminal, it's like it's a thatch hut, and I told my dad, don't give Jagger any of your stuff. Just leave him alone. That's what they pay for private charter for. They don't want to be bothered.
They don't want to be bothered. Right. Yeah.
So, sure as heck, I see my dad out of the corner of my eye, chatting up Mr. Jagger. I said, oh, goodness. So, we get back in the plane. I said, Dad, why'd you do that? You should have just left him alone. But, he didn't want your stuff. He doesn't want your hat. So, 3 months later, and, I ate my words. Our chief pilot at the time comes in and says, hey, man, you'll never believe this, but Mick Jagger's got your hat on, and he's in People magazine.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. Yes. And so to this day, I tell my dad, you can give your stuff to whoever you want. I stand corrected. I think we tried to give Sir Paul a hat, but we never saw him in a magazine or on TV with our hat on. But I thought that was pretty cool.
That is very cool.
And so I learned a life lesson there that, my dad's old school. And it really does go a long way. Even in Air Force pilot training, we'd have, when planes would come through the island, we would give them bottles of rum and stuff in kind of a goodie bag and combs and everything. And I was a new lieutenant going through simulator training, and this guy pulls out a comb, and the lettering had already worn off, and he looks at my name tag. He says, I know that name. And he says, you guys give these combs out and you get rum out in Virgin Islands. And so it's kind of funny. So I stand it corrected for don't do that. So, but yeah.
This is how we generate our business. This is how we let people know. This is part of the fun of it.
Yeah.
To share these what you're passionate about, right?
Yeah. So we're known in St. Croix, we're known for that. When planes come in, private planes, when they come into the FBO side of our business, just think it's like a marina for airplanes. And we give them rum and stuff.
Yeah.
We're just known for that.
Yeah.
A little bit of a tangent from celebrities, but so lots of unique people. Some are very friendly, some are not so friendly, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't take it personal.
Yeah. No, it's you're there to fly the plane.
Correct.
Yeah. But I mean, I suppose you're a bit of a host.
Yes.
On some level as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So on the smaller jets, you make sure that that person has what they want. Whether they like it, they have a specific drink that they've requested, or some people are very simple. They don't want anything per se. You would think that they're paying top dollar for a private trip, that they would want the kitchen sink, but they don't. It's more of a efficiency really is just to save time and get to places that you can normally not get to on scheduled service.
Yeah.
So
sometimes people just need to be somewhere.
Yes.
And that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah,
but they're getting a hat anyways.
They're getting a hat.
If your dad's there, for sure.
And they'll come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got a lot of repeat customers and high profile people that they come back time and time again.
Yeah.
Which is good.
And you're in the Virgin Islands, so you're in the Caribbean, and you probably fly all over the Caribbean.
Yes.
And this is where everybody needs to be, right?
That's right.
Like,
especially in season. Like places like St. Bart's, it's kind of like the Las Vegas of the Caribbean. Well, it's actually St. Martin's really the Las Vegas of the Caribbean. St. Bart's is probably the Monaco or the Ibiza type of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I'd say Ibiza.
Yeah.
But you've got all different types there around Christmas time, because everybody's escaping the cold. So, but yeah, we've flown primarily from South Florida all the way to northern South America as our stomping ground. But we've flown all the way out here to the West Coast. Been up to Kelowna, British Columbia, Toronto, down to Bariloche in Argentina, Spain, and Ireland. So we're growing further into the European market with our larger cabin jets, but anything in the Caribbean. I actually go to Haiti quite a bit. We fly business folks into Port-au-Prince, Dominican Republic, into Mexico. You know, a lot of the reggaeton stars, like the Daddy Yankees of the world, those guys. You know, they'll do concerts in Bogota or Guadalajara. Go to those places. It's all a blur, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So, well, it doesn't sound like a blur. It sounds like, it sounds like you're pretty sharp and on top of all of this stuff. You've been doing it for a while. So.
Long time. Yeah, it's all I really know how to do.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Well, beautiful.
Yeah.
And what is the name of the company?
Yeah, so it's actually, it's not a catchy aviation name. It's our last name. Our family name is Bohlke. It's Bohlke. So it sounds like, like you normally spell Bohlke, but it's a German last name. Bohlke International Airways.
Got it.
And that's the name my dad gave it. My grandfather gave it way back when.
Yeah.
And charter brokers and folks that are in the Caribbean and in aviation in general have heard of us in the Caribbean specifically. So we're not the national company. We're not American Airlines.
Yep.
But we have 65 teammates, and it's good, tight-knit little organizations. Kind of unique.
Well, beautiful, William. Well, thanks very much for doing that.
Yeah.
And if I make my way down to the Virgin Islands there, I'll have to go for a ride in one of your planes for sure.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay, man.
Good. Yep.
Thank you.
You got it.
Yep. Okay, well, I'm up here in Santa Rosa at the Sandman. Just finished dropping off William. So how interesting is that, you guys? Bohlke, a pilot from the U.S. Virgin Islands. Anyways, really interesting. I'm up here in Santa Rosa. It is now 10 after 1 in the morning. So I got my destination filter to the San Francisco International Airport. We'll see if I get anything. I doubt it at this point. But what a really great guy. What a great story that he shared with us. So William, thanks a lot for doing that. That was brilliant. Really enjoyed that. So okay, guys, onwards.